far that your spouse might say, yo, I hate that. I love you, but I hate that. That's not going to work. And every time you do that, even though you and your bestie are fine when you do that with me, it creates strife. And if we two grown folk who are two whole folk, we got to be honest and say, dang, maybe I need to change. And that's that, because I've learned that in this relationship, that aspect doesn't work. And we trip about that in marriage, but you'll do it for your money.
Oh, Lord.
Whoa! Oh my God! Oh.
I mean, that's true.
Oh.
That's true. That's totally true.
If your boss, if you're that good paying job tells you to be there at 7 a.m., you're going to be there at 6:55 a.m. because that's a good paying job.
You'll do it for your professor.
You're absolutely right, because I had I love my hair. I keep my hair cut and nice and managed and everything like that. But I caught a gig one time, and they told me in order to play with them, I had to shave all of this off. I could keep my goatee, but I had to lose the beard. Guess what I did? I said, "You gonna grow back."
Yeah.
I went on here and made that money. I sure did.
Yeah.
And how many movie stars changed their bodies?
Erica says 655.
Gain weight. How many movie stars change their body, their hair, their face, their whatever to make their money for that movie, for that part? So you're absolutely right.
And listen, speaking of marriage and change and relationships, everybody that's on this live right now is engaged to a relationship with us, and it costs you nothing to hit the like button. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Hit that like button.
It costs you nothing.
It's free
to hit the like button.
I ain't got to pay you, and you ain't got to pay to do it.
We're in covenant together, huh? We're in
Holy
covenant.
Ghost.
And you haven't hit the like button, and it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit. It hits me,
we don't like it.
And it
so
hits
change
it. It hits me right in my chest. Right there.
Oh my Lord!
Brother, you just look like Usher doing a little.
Listen, I ain't gonna do that. You listen.
Likes are free, and you know what, Pat? We so thankful to have Pastor C all the way from DuPage AME, one of the biggest churches in the AME jurisdiction, and she didn't even have to come on tonight. She's a married woman and ministry minded, and she has a beautiful little son. She has blessed us tonight, and I can't wait for her to keep dropping some more nuggets, because it's like a hot fish fry. I need to get my Frank's red hot, because I put that stuff on everything.
Be careful, Bishop. My cousin Eric says marriage is more about duty than love. Love is an emotion that changes with the wind. Duty is always steady. Wow. Okay, and I want to get back to because I do want to get to that point to where change is important, and because we talk about change and compromise, and I think our generation, this generation of people that have grown up, both men and women, have learned, especially in our community, we're a bit more educated. We're a bit more learned. We're a bit more what's the word? Travel. We're a bit more well traveled. We've had more experiences and things. Bit more culture. That's where I was looking.
Yeah.
That quickly. But I say all that just to say this: when we get in, like you said, Patsy, we are whole people, and if you're not willing to make some accommodations and some changes and some, how can you coexist?
Right.
Because especially if you're looking for him or her to change for you. And guess what happens? Your spouse sees all the changes that you made for your degree, for your job, when you became that attorney. Guess what? They saw you dressing differently because you couldn't get a good attorney job, dressing like Gothic. You know what I'm saying? And with black fingernails and all this stuff. Right? Like it just didn't mesh, right? And you made all these accommodations for everything else that you wanted, except for your spouse that you said that you wanted.
I want to add this. I know God says that he changes not, right? But I think within him not changing or changing not, that the fact that change is necessary and inevitable is part of him not changing. So he ain't gonna change his mind that you gotta change.
Well, that's a different relationship, isn't it? It's a different.
Yeah, it is.
It's a more of a fatherly relationship.
I'm speaking more so of like back to what Pastor C started off saying. It takes change to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And that rule of change that it takes to maintain is not going to change.
Reverend Cassie says, Reverend shouting, sacrifice for the dollar, but not for the one you love. Ooh. Ain't that crazy?
That is crazy, Bishop.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Because John 3:16 makes it really plain when he says, "For God so loved, He gave." He gave the ultimate. He gave His Son. And so if you look at you're in a relationship and that person doesn't give to you, and that goes both ways, because you can give your time, you can give your money, you can give your efforts, you can give your wisdom, you can give your knowledge, you can give your understanding. You know what I'm saying? You can give your trade, you can give your genres. There's so many different ways you can give. When you find a person that they don't give and they stingy, you probably better run, Reverend Shouty.
Listen, it takes change to maintain. We need to hashtag that. That needs to be a T-shirt.
It takes change to maintain.
That's gonna be the marriage ministry T-shirt right there. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the marriage ministry T-shirt. Amen.
That's the reason.
Say that one, Bishop.
That's the reason why the world is the way it is right now.
Pastor C, what's one thing you had to change to maintain?
Go ahead, E. What you got to say?
No, yes, Pastor C. Save me, Erica. Save me.
I would say it takes change to maintain is really a good line. I'm with Markell. It definitely should be hashtag on a t-shirt, because I think a lot of the growing pains in relationships is due to the individuals changing on their part, right? And because you are uncomfortable in your change and you're changing for another person, sometimes we start to like despise that person because you're making me do something I'm uncomfortable with doing. You're making me do something that I'm not used to. Mm-hmm. And instead of appreciating them for pulling us out of stuck areas or appreciating them for teaching us something new, instead of saying, I'm thankful for you, or waking up with a different type of mindset that's saying, hey, if this person is making me go to church and begin to tithe, this person is making me save, or this person is making me eat healthier, they're making me want to work out for 30 minutes a day. Instead of appreciating those things, we tend to get mad and like, what I'm trying to say, we combat them.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a lot of the growing pains in relationships. So I feel like it takes change to maintain will help change the mindset, like of certain people, especially people, I know we were speaking of marriage, but especially people who are in newer relationships or even newlyweds, because these are the people who we see struggle the most. When you get to that 25, 50 years, you kind of like, you done been through it all. It's those first few years where it's tough when you in that mud together and you just getting stuck and you seem like you're repeating the same cycles. But the repeat is because change is happening on both sides. And we just need to make sure that when that change happens on individually, together, it makes sense for us.
Yeah. So this is one of my members, Ron Knighton. And I think they just celebrated, he and his wife, Sister Valerie, just celebrated like 34 years of marriage.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow. Shout out to you, Brother Knighton.
Yeah. And he's a singer, y'all. He can sing. You hear me?
Oh, my Lord.
Okay.
We might have to have him for Jericho Men's Day, my Lord.
No, listen, he can go. But this is serious. So he said you nurture and strengthen the relationship when you entertain a willingness to change. Mm-hmm. And I love powerful. The word entertain in his statement, because I believe that that's the key. And so what Eric was just saying about this whole both people changing, or like what Reverend Cassie said about it's for the better if you truly love them. It's this, I think that change comes easier when both people are willing to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
Right?
key.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that, that's of course where the whole praying and allowing God to lead you to the right person exists. And then when you two imperfect humans are together, you got to grow together and realize that if we are going to make this work, number one, the word make is real.
Yeah.
It's a make. It's a choice, because you are two imperfect people who again have been whole people. And so I think that if I could leave a nugget, especially as a person who literally just is 3 years into my marriage, right? 3 years into my marriage, and we have a 1-year-old, right? And so, and we live away from both of our families, right? So we moved across the states to start at a new church. And so doing all of those changes and transitions at one time, create an opportunity for struggle. But if you decide, what, I'm going to make this work, or I'm going to choose for this to be a steady marriage and not a broken marriage, then that means that every day, even if you get on my nerves, I have to stay in this.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, with safety. So we got to be real, since we are here broadcasting, that if it's not safe for you to stay in a marriage, get out of the marriage. We rather you be divorced than have a funeral. So let's say that.
Yeah. Let's say that.